I'll provide some more information about sidereal astrology, also known as Vedic astrology. So, I've said there's different portions of the sky according to this sidereal or Vedic astrology. These portions are nakshatras, 27 of them. It's very simple. The thing I like about this is it's so simple, it's not hard to understand. It's laid out perfectly. It's all right there. It's precise. It's completely precise. And you can see how it plays out. And you can use it as a tool to figure out what is going on in our reality. It's more precise. Western, you can make big predictions. You can look at the bigger picture of everything. You use the outer planets. You use it for the seasons. But for Vedic or sidereal, it's absolutely precise. And it goes into the nakshatras, and it goes deeper into the energies of these areas. Right now, it's Ashwini. This is the very beginning. If you look at all of the nakshatras, the number one, the one that starts it all is Ashwini. That's where Aries starts. Because Aries has a few different nakshatras that fit within it. But the thing about this one right now, this is what I wanted to speak on, because it's the first day of Ashwini. If you look at the calendar, April 13th, around this time, that is when the sun, it goes into that portion called Ashwini. It's the horses. This is the prana. It's a vital energy. It's a new beginning. This is where nature starts to grow. And what did I notice? Trees start to gain their leaves again. Because in the so-called winter time, where I'm at, they're losing their leaves. There's some kind of manipulation possibly going on. But from what I've learned, is, that portion of the sky, that's where there's a rejuvenation. There's a rebirth. And that's what I'm seeing. So when you realize that, you'll start to realize nothing that goes around you is just a coincidence. There are other forces at play that are resulting in whatever you're experiencing around you. Look at that tree. Where I'm at, it's a lot different than if you go to Florida, if you go somewhere south, because when you're closer to the south, they got the temperature warmer all year round, so in the winter it's actually warm there. You got to realize that geography plays a role. There's a different type of energy in the northern part of this reality, of this realm. So different types of trees, like you see this. You're going to find different types of trees in different areas. So we're experiencing different temperatures, different energies based off the different locations you're at. When it does come to Vedic sidereal astrology, it holds true no matter where you are. But one thing that stuck out to me, I'm still looking at these trees because I pay attention to trees. I pay attention to plants and, the whole thing of nature, of how these plants and trees, they lose their leaves, and whatever is affecting it causes them to lose their leaves. The forces, the people, I've gone into weather manipulation, but it's just the the whole thing that I'm saying right now is whenever we get to this part of the year, the so-called year, the trees just always they come back around this time. We don't get it in the winter in this part of the realm. We don't get warmer weather temperatures, and you don't get the trees that they come back around this time. And I'm still trying to figure it out, you know, why this is. And if this is just going to continue, because, you know, I investigate things. I try to figure out why is it that we experience it. If you are up north and you stay here in the winter, it gets freezing. You have no source of trees around you except for very little. You got some pine trees and maybe a few others that just barely retain their leaves. But when you get to this part, like Ashwini, the very beginning of the whole nakshatras, this where the sun goes back there again, all of a sudden the trees retain their leaves, and it's warmer out, and there's a fresh breath of energy. There's a new vitality, a rejuvenation that goes on. I wanted to bring that to attention. And I also wanted to note that, you know, this doesn't happen everywhere, because if you are in Florida or somewhere south, you're not going to experience the same problem of the temperature decreasing so much. You go to those areas in the winter, January, February, and it's 70 something degrees normally, and you don't have that problem where if you're up north where it's going to get really cold. But one thing that I did here was Ashwini, the very, very beginning of the whole nakshatra. If you look at the nakshatras, that's number one. It's the horse. It's a new energy. Just look at the trees. Start to come back. The very end of the zodiac, let's look at Sagittarius to Pisces. I know all the different ones, and this is not popular where we're at. People don't know what these nakshatras are, what they mean, what they represent. But I've noticed that the energies hold true for what's going on. When you're in the winter, there's Mula, there's the uprooting, or that's technically the fall. But my point is, we went through those energies at the winter time, and the trees did not retain their leaves. The temperature was much colder. There was a harsher kind of energy. When you go through Mula and the Ashadas, there's you're transforming, you're changing, and it's in the winter time. This is how it is, and I try to figure this out. I try to bring it to attention because we want to know what's going on. This is happening right before our eyes. I've talked about trees a lot in my videos, plants, nature. It's important just for us to function, to get proper energy from these trees, you know. It's very difficult when they're not here, when they're damaged. So this was really interesting to me, how I heard once you get to Ashwini, it's a rebirth. But then there's some kind of cycle that happens, and there is manipulation going on. But at the same time, there's some kind of force that destroys the trees when you get to the fall and winter. I think it has to do with that portion of Scorpio to Sagittarius, because that's where, if you notice, if you really pay attention, if you're up north, that's where the trees just start to lose their leaves. They turn brown, they turn yellow, and then they shrivel up, they fall down, and all of a sudden you don't get trees. You don't get the leaves. some kind of death or destruction that happens there. And look into Scorpio Sagittarius, because that is where a lot of the destruction will take place. And then you go and the moolah is the uprooting. You uproot, whatever's not working, and you transform it, and then it leads into the ashadas, where you plant the seeds, and then you do the work. I'm not going to get into all of the different nakshatras, but my point is, there's a rejuvenation part at the very beginning. It's the childlike, and the innocent, childlike, very new, young, youthful energy. Then you have the middle part that sustains everything, keeps it in place. Then you have the changing, transforming, ending, and completions part at the end, ending at Pisces and Revati, which we just had. And after Revati, it starts a whole new cycle again. And people aren't really aware of what's taking place. It's a tool that can help you figure out what is actually going on around us, because I don't accept just things randomly happening to me and just being told a certain narrative and not figuring things out that we haven't been told. We've never been taught sidereal astrology. There's so much more, but this is something that's really interesting because it shows you what's going on at a deeper level. I had to even think deeper than just what we're being taught, because a lot of people just say there's corruption, there's interference, there's manipulation happening, but there's certain things that they can't manipulate that just go beyond what so-called rulers or government people, those in positions of authority who abuse power. There's certain things that they just cannot do, that they're just not allowed to do. So you got to go deeper than that, than just saying that it's just all manipulation, because that's not going to get you anywhere if you just keep complaining that they're manipulating the weather. Meanwhile, you're just sitting around watching TV, smoking weed, doing whatever you want. What is that really going to do? So think deeper at what's going on. It's not everything that you can control, but you can figure out you can figure a lot of things out that you've never been taught before. The information is there. It's been hidden from you, suppressed from you. Don't just complain about how things are. It's a pet peeve of mine when you're just going to complain about all the evil and bad things that happen. There's certain things that you can do that you can really make good things happen for you, that no one outside of you can force you into something worse. It's your decision to make things better when things aren't going your way. And I'm noticing it more and more. So I thought I would share that. Vedic astrology is a tool, a precise tool that can help you, can assist you. And obviously Western is a different one, and that's useful as well. But I just noticed that Vedic is more precise, because Ashwini, for example, is the very beginning, and it's so clear, and that you cannot deny it. You can use both, though. There's a lot of different systems. I know I'm talking a lot right now. It's got a lot on my mind. It's kind of hard for me to. It's hard to put all of these thoughts into words. A lot going on around me. You can hear these dogs and stuff. I'm going to do more videos on Vedic astrology, but this was kind of long and kind of ranted on about a lot of different things, but it's what it is, you know. I'll be back soon with more information about this. It's really interesting. Vedic astrology, all different types of astrology. Look into it.